All right, welcome everyone. We're going to get started here, talk a little bit about the solid waste project. Um, so before we do that, let's just talk a little bit about some of the introductory information from the lesson to help you get moving with the project. So obviously, as you've gone through the lesson, as you've gone through the project, you should be able to have an understanding of a definition of municipal solid waste, knowing where it comes from, be able to discuss the environmental problems associated with solid waste generation and describe some disposal methods for solid waste and give the advantages and the disadvantages of each. Okay, so just some highlights to discuss here. Think about your normal day-to-day activities. Okay, how much stuff you throw in the garbage, and then when you think about the perspective of how much as a country we throw away, okay, that this year alone the United States will produce enough household solid waste to fill a bumper to bumper convoy of garbage trucks that encircle our planet almost 8 times. Okay, so when you put that into a number, really each day the average American produces about 4.5 pounds of municipal solid waste. Okay, that's pretty astounding. Okay, so solid wastes are problematic for our environment. And really, this whole second semester has focused around being good stewards to the planet. Okay, solid waste simply pollutes the natural beauty of our environment. Okay, it smells bad, it doesn't look very good, and managing it requires putting it somewhere. Okay, and this leads to air pollution, this leads to noise pollution, this leads to traffic issues. And solid waste in the United States is typically buried in huge landfills. Okay, this disrupts our land, it harms our wildlife habitats, it raises questions about what we will do when we run out of space on our planet with all the garbage. Okay, and then think about it from the perspective of drinking water. Most of our drinking water comes from the ground. Um, but what if that groundwater flows under a landfill or a garbage site, burial site? And what if that garbage is leaking toxic substances? Do you want to be drinking water that's infected with a whole bunch of garbage and refuse? I know I don't. So think about ways to manage waste. Solid waste is really one of those things that's easy to ignore. We bag it up and the garbage man comes once a week and takes it away. Okay, but when you leave it unattended, it becomes a real problem. Okay, so in your lesson, it talks about integrated waste management. It talks about primary waste prevention, secondary waste prevention, and then waste disposal. Okay, so those are three main points that you really should make sure that you understand um, when you're thinking about um, reducing and managing the wastes that we currently have. Okay. In addition to that, you know, also we talk about alternatives to landfills, and waste incineration is one of those alternatives. Okay, waste can be burned, um, and the process can be used to heat water, generate steam, or produce electricity. However, um, it takes about 2,000 pounds of garbage to equal the energy generated from just 500 pounds of coal. So it offers the advantage of reducing the amount of land needed, but the disadvantage is that it pollutes and it produces air pollution and it doesn't smell very good. Okay, so some things to think about as you're moving through this solid waste project. So help you in the right direction.